Tiffany, you good? Okay, I have 7 o'clock on my phone. Just a little housekeeping for a moment before we formally open. We have 2 meetings that will be conducted this evening. The Zoning Board of Review and the Zoning Board of Appeal. We will flip-flop the agenda, and you'll understand in a moment. So with that being said, I'll call the Zoning Board of Appeal meeting scheduled for Tuesday, August 23rd to order with roll call, please. Here.
Here.
Here. Here.
Okay, that was the the schedule appeal is the Islander Solar LLC with regard to a master plan a denial issued by the planning board. At this time, I will turn it over to the zoning official who will well, that's oh, did I? Hold on. Well, I had the announcement. Before I turn it over to you, Larry, we have the roll call to order, roll call. I'll go through this because it's part of the process, my mistake. Item 3 on the agenda, disclosure of no compensation or pension credits by the board members. All of the members in front of you are appointed by the town council and receive no compensation. Disclosure and notice, Zoning Board of Appeals members shall disclose any ex parte communications about any contested or material adjudicatory facts or opinions concerning the merits of any application before the Zoning Board of Appeal. So as I noted prior, the appeal scheduled for tonight is Island Solar LLC, and it's the appeal of a decision of the North Smithfield Planning Board. We have to continue this meeting to a date certain. I'll turn the floor over to the zoning official who can explain further.
Well, due to a fact of a scheduling conflict, they've decided to move the meeting to August 30th at 7 p.m. That'd be about the time they'd like to do it on the 30th.
So August 30th, it's a special meeting date at
Yes.
7 o'clock. I believe notification was made to all members during the day.
Yes, I sent out an email to
Okay.
notify everybody.
Before we make a motion, I just want to make sure that all members respond to the zoning official and confirm their attendance. Did everyone respond?
I did.
I have not.
Okay. Before you leave tonight, please make sure that the zoning official knows about your attendance. It's very important that all members attend. It's a non-scheduled meeting, so if there is a conflict, would rather he know sooner than later, so that we still do have 2 alternate positions. We're a full board now, so we can do without 1 or possibly 2, but we prefer all members. Okay. With that being said, could someone make a motion to continue the appeal of Island Solar LLC to a date certain of August 30th, 2022?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, the motion passes. The appeal has been continued to a date certain of August 30th of 22.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Now we'll entertain a motion to adjourn
I'll
the
second.
Zoning Board of Appeals meeting. We have a motion and we have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, with that being said, we will now open the Zoning Board of Review meeting, also scheduled for this evening of Tuesday, August 23rd. Roll call? Here.
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 Oh, I should take a moment before we go any further to welcome our second alternate, our newest member, Mr. Mike Marston. Did I have the name correct? Yes. Local resident, of course, came to us willingly. The position had been vacant for some time. Hard work of members, Mr. Mark Antonio, And we're pleased to have you with us, and we're pleased to have a full board. So welcome. You'll learn a lot in a short period of time. I'll read the same two items. Item 3 on the agenda, disclosure of no compensation or pension credits received by the board members. Item 4, disclosure and notice zoning board of review members shall disclose any ex parte communications about any contested or material adjudicatory facts or opinions concerning the merits of any application before the zoning board of review. Item 5 is approval of the minutes from May 24th. I know that was some time ago, but they were distributed. All members had opportunity to review them. If there are any revisions or corrections, please note them.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from May 24th, 2022.
If not, we accept that motion with a second.
I'll second.
Okay, Tiffany, you can choose who you want to give the second to. We'll give it to Vinnie. We'll give it to Mr. Mark Antonio. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, minutes are approved. New business, at this point, I will recuse myself and turn the meeting over to the Vice Chairman, Mr. Scott Martin, to conduct the next agenda item, which is the application of Tech Realty LLC.
Okay, item number 6, new business. The application of Tech Realty LLC owner application to construct a 23,700 square foot commercial building on the property at 0 Central Street, AP1, Lot 461. The property is located in a mixed-use 2 zoning district. According to Section 5.4.105 of the ordinance, the proposed light industrial use of the building is allowed by right in the MU2 zoning district. The applicant is seeking a dimensional variance pursuant to Section 9.3.1 of the North Smithfield zoning ordinance. The applicant is seeking dimensional relief from Section 12.11, front and side rear setbacks, and Section 12.4.11, 14, storage and loading areas. We have counsel to represent.
We do. Good evening. My name is Joelle Rocha. I'm counsel for the applicant tonight.
Okay, we're just gonna do some administrative stuff first and get some stuff in records, so just bear with us. Okay, P1 is going to be the North Smithfield Office of Building Zoning Official, the application. It's a 21-page application. That'll be P1. P2 is the 200-foot radius map of a list of abutters. It's 2 pages. The first page is the list of the abutters, and the second page is a map which shows the 200-foot buffer around said property, AP1, Lot 461. P3, actually, is there a date on this? Yeah, go back to P2. Actually, let's go back to P1. I think there's a date on
Yeah,
this.
there's a separate filled out area for the variance standards that's been filled out. That's separate from the application.
They kind of put this all bundled into one as being the application. That's usually how we handle that. If we want, we can split that. Do you want to split that out? Split out the appendix, and it's up to you guys. We can leave it as P1, I guess.
I'll defer to your discretion.
The top of P1 has ZBR-22-03, and it basically doesn't really have a date on it. It's got a revised application for hearing for 5/2/19 on that. So that's all we really have for identifying markers on that. On the P2, the first page has a date of May 25th, updated on May 25th, 2022. The radius map is prepared by John Casali Engineering. Joe. Did I say Joe? Joe Casali. I don't see, it's got a date of May 2022. I don't see an engineering stamp on that. P3 is a warranty deed. Comes from Doc 45624, BK 900, page 22. It has a stamped date and time on it of 5/18/2021. at 11:23:18 a.m. That is a 3-page document. P4 is another map. It's what they call a photo plan. It, again, is created by Joe Casali Engineering. There's no engineering stamp on it. The date on this is May 2022. It's sheet 1 of 1. It basically has a map of the property and pictures from 4 areas along the road of that property. P5 is the planning board decision letter. It's got a stamp on it of June 20th, 2022 at 01:17 p.m. And it's got a book 944, page 177, and the document is 48876. That's a 4-page document from the planning board, decision letter. P6 is a project narrative for proposed major land development, material sampling, technology for the 23,600 square foot, single-story commercial building. It's submitted by Joe Casali Engineering with a submission date of May 2022. It's many pages. So that's going to be P6. P3 is a variance approval standards, a handwritten part of that. I believe that P6 has some more detail in it, but this is kind of like a summary of P7. So it's got the 93.1, A, B, C, D, E, and then 932B. No date on that, but 2 pages.
So just a lost place for a second, Mr. Martin. This is P7?
P7, yep.
Okay.
P8 will be the, I guess you consider these blueprints. It has a date of May 2022. It's prepared by Joe Casali Engineering. He has a registered professional engineer, civil, tag on it of 7250. That is, page 1 is existing conditions. Page 2 is the conceptual site plan. And then we have an A1, an A2, an A3, and then a comprehensive boundary existing conditions survey. I believe that is everything we have. Did I miss anything?
No, not that I
You have
see.
anything? Okay. Counsel, you may proceed.
Great, thank you. As you noted, we're here tonight on dimensional variance requests related to the construction of a new building at Assessors Plat 1, Lot 461 on Central Street, which is just south of the existing MSOT facility. It's currently a vacant lot, and the proposed light industrial building, as noted on your agenda, is permitted. Oh, that's on? It's the opposite. Is permitted under your zoning ordinance. So while we will be talking a little bit about the use, just to get you orientated, we're here really on the dimensional relief. As noted in your packet at P5, we received master plan approval for the project on June 9th, 2022. The decision was pretty thorough. It had 14 conditions, which include obtaining the dimensional variances before you tonight. The decision notably also includes items which were raised by abutters to be addressed at the technical preliminary plan review in front of the planning board, including a traffic analysis as to the potential increase in volume of traffic, a full landscape plan to be provided showing what the infill planting / buffering that will be provided at preliminary plan. And obviously, all the state permits needed for this project will be provided at that time. The variances are dimensional relief from section 12.11 related to side, rear and front setbacks, and relief related to the loading area. Those, as Mr. Casali is going to go through his presentation, and you'll note that those are due to the unique configuration and the unique characteristics of this site. I have Mr. Casali here tonight as our registered professional engineer on this project, and a representative of our client to answer any operational questions to the extent you have any. But Mr. Casali will go through the site plans and walk you through where these dimensional variances are.
Good evening, members of the board, Mr. Chairman. Just for the record, my name's Joe Casali. I'm a registered professional engineer with offices at 300 Post Road in Warwick. If I may, Mr. Chair, just quickly like to go through the PowerPoint presentation, bring the board up to speed, and specifically go over some of the dimensional relief as Attorney Roker just stated. So in terms of where we are, you see the Rhode Island, Massachusetts line, Route 102, 146, 146A, Route 5, and then that's the existing MST, Material Sampling Technologies. And specifically tonight, we're only talking about Assessor's Plat 1, Lot 461. That's the outline. It's obviously a unique in shape. It's a large piece. It's close to 10 acres, and it's entirely in that mixed-use industrial zone. As Attorney Roker said, the use is by right. You'll see in a minute some of the wetland encumbrances and how small the lot gets. That's a recent view of the lot. I believe that's a 2018 image. Pretty much the same as it exists today. It's an entirely wooded and treed lot. But when we had the wetlands delineated in 2020, you can see most, if not all of it, is freshwater wetlands. The blue jurisdictional is the 50-foot perimeter wetland that DEM will take jurisdiction over. We also have a small wetland, less than 3 acres, that does not have a jurisdictional buffer with it. A special aquatic site, and then there's an intermittent stream that has another 100-foot riverbank. So you can see that the buildable lot area that we have to work with is now drastically smaller than that 9.7 acres we started with. So to further overlay the zoning, in this zone, you have both a minimum and maximum yard setback, and that'll be most, if not where all of the derivatives of the dimensional relief will encompass, and I'll explain in a second. And so that's our proposed building, and you can see why it is in such a shape that it's in, and it's orientated the way that it is. We're trying to get as large of a building as we can on what, initially was thought of as a 10-acre site. Initial charge was, can we do a 30 or 40,000 square foot building? You see, it's just not possible on this piece with all of the freshwater wetlands. The building, as I stated at the planning board, it's utilitarian in nature. It's ancillary, it's auxiliary to the primary use, and we can get into the operations a little bit deeper. We have Craig Haddad here, who is the operations manager, and can get into some of the unique processes that happens here in North Smithfield, specifically at MSD. And so you'll see from an elevation standpoint, this is a metal building. We have been charged in your code by section 12.11 that the exterior of the building that's visible to the street, we will put some architectural block so that it's not so utilitarian, and that is part of our master plan decision. We've, of course, agreed to that, which is why, Mr. Chairman, your planning board, I believe, gave us that positive recommendation the night we received our master plan approval. So when you look also at the sections of the building, and I'll explain a little bit more into the grading, the land changes quite a bit, and so we've designed this building. Don Powers, a local architect who I'm sure you're familiar with, has been readily involved in these building sections, because we're gonna need to step this building and step this foundation so that we can build in natural character with the land. In terms of the ancillary use, We're petitioning DEM so that we can have a driveway access to connect both parcels. In preliminary meetings with them, it's going to be a formal wetland application. I'm not sure that they will allow it, but it's something that we want to see happen. We want those two buildings to have that internal corridor. There's 3 loading docks proposed. There's a forklift, a hand forklift. In terms of parking, no dimensional relief is required. Only 4 spaces under your code would be required.